Now we are joined by Dr. Gbenga Adeoye, FCA Economist, who joins us live from Minnesota, USA. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us at this time. Okay, all right, straight to the questions. The 1-month deadline given by federal government to producers of goods and services to crush their prices. Do you see this as a first step to take in tackling the skyrocketing increase of goods and services in Nigeria?
It's like putting the cart before the horse. You know, before you can tell people to do something about pricing, it's important for you to ensure that the enabling environment is okay. Price control, as good as it may sound, also has its own implication. Number one, price control is not a general policy. You do price control on certain goods, what we call essential goods. You can do price control on bread. You can do price control on things like kerosene, PMS, energy. Now, if you talk about price control, you can have what we call the floor pricing and the ceiling pricing, done all over the world. But then what government does is to make certain inputs available to manufacturers and distributors of products such that they are unable to take the price beyond certain point, so that these prices can be affordable to the people. The new boss of price control agency talks about blender at Victoria Island. He has forgotten that energy cost has to be put in place, security of the place has to be put in place. And so when you also look at cost of importation, even an economic ticket, everybody knows what it is. So you don't just come and make pronouncement without doing the needful first. So to me, it's like putting the cart before the horse. I agree that there is good intention behind price control, but price control itself must be preceded by certain actions of the government. So, for example, if we feel that prices of bread is too high and people are unable to purchase this for consumption, you can then go into what can we do about wheat importation. You can say every wheat that comes into the country, we're going to reduce the duty, or we're going to zero the duty. If you look at various sectors, you look at what impacts more on the people. And so what you do is a kind of subsidy indirectly, or you do certain waivers, so that when this cost is taken care of by government policy, people are able to then sell at a standardized price that government is trying to set. But usually you have a floor price and you have a ceiling price, such that all sellers can now stay within that threshold. But for you to make an announcement and say crash price within 1 month, it sounds to me like putting the cart before the horse. What government ought to do is to sit down with stakeholders. Let's do a list of maybe 10 items, bag of rice, bread, loaf of bread. Look at various things and say, what are the cost component of these items? And then we look at it. Which of the components can government control? And when you put that control in place, by way of eliminating those costs, then you tell the people, if you were selling before for 1,000 naira, now that the federal government is taking off a particular cost that is about 200 away from you, we are saying the maximum price you can sell is 800. And then you have a baseline, which is what we call the floor pricing. And then the ceiling, which is 800. So because of competition, some people will then drop their prices below the 800. So that's how it is done all over the world. So it's not just about making an announcement and saying crash the price. No, you don't just say crash the price. You come up with policies, you dialogue with the people, and then they're able to tell you. I'll give you an example. Petroleum product, PMS, that you see, I understand in Nigeria now, prices in some places 850, 900, some far away in the north or so, maybe like 1,000, 1,200. Now, if you talk to the people that are selling product, they tell you, this is the amount we are getting from the tank farm. There's no way we can sell below our cost price. Transportation is there, security on the road is there, energy cost in their various business places. So government should think about some form of adjustment on energy, all this band A, band B, band C. We need to get, away with that. And so when these factors of production are clearly addressed, then you can then look at it and say, hey, guys, come here. The government is absorbing certain element of your cost component. And for this reason, there should be a drop of X amount in your pricing. And so you allow competition, some will drop below that. So I think that's what to do. The danger of what the government has said.
All right, so since this is not the first time that government is making policies or making announcements without what some experts in the industry would call proper consultation, like we saw with the removal of fuel subsidy. So now that this announcement has been made, do you see this deadline working, like you said, with the daily struggle to buy petrol products at varying and very high cost?
It's not going to work, I mean, it's dead on arrival, actually. I mean, even a blind man, a deaf man, understand that this cannot work. Don't forget that the people that are making the announcement, they have their family members in the market, and they are going to tell them, hey, uncle, you must be joking with that announcement. Do you know how much we got this in the market? So you expect me to sell at what price? So, you see, what will happen to the country within that 1 month, if they actually make any attempt to implement, is that you're going to have inferior products in the market, because some people say, okay, government says we should crash and sell at what price? Then they will supply things that are not good. You are aware of various people having kidney problem in Lagos and in the East as a result of inferior drinks. That will increase if you try to force that. The second thing that will happen is what we call hoarding, because people feel like, look, they want to destroy my capital by asking me to sell at a price that is not good for me. So if I have 10 products, I pretend to have 2. So when you make demand, I say, sorry, it's not available. So you then come back and say, look, I'm ready to get it at any price. And then you try and cross-check. Maybe this is a government agent or not. So hoarding is an issue. And what we call rationing. Rationing do happen during fuel scarcity. So you come in, you need 180 liters of fuel for your vehicle to move from here maybe to Benue in Boko. And then somebody say, oh, sorry, we can only sell 20 liters to you because they don't want to get rid of all their products. So I don't see this announcement as anything to worry about. The government probably send that signal maybe to those people that are doing artificial increase. But I tell you, everybody knows things are hard. You know it. You know that there are other factors surrounding pricing. It's not about the product itself. The example that the boss, apology to my brother Tunji Bello, who is my brother, from Ogun State. I think it is wrong for you to compare the blender price in the US with the Naira value or price in Nigeria just like that, without bringing other factors. How much was this item shipped into the country? What was the flight cost if you air cargo these items? Now, when you are clearing them, what are the issues that you face? Now, where you are storing this item, what is your rent there? What are the other costs? Security of the place. How many OPC people are guarding that warehouse? And so you put all these costs together to determine your price. And then don't forget, you have to make profit. A country where you are lending people at 35% interest, and you think prices will go down. It cannot happen. It's just a mere dream.
All right, we thank you so much for sharing with us from the wealth of your experiences. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right, and that was Dr. Gbenga Adeoye, FCA economist, who joined us live from Minnesota, USA.